And welcome back. There are many outdoorsy people who call the Northwoods home, but what if we were placed on a deserted island? For today's On Our Mind, we're asking, what singular item would you bring to survive on a tropical island for 1 month?
So you're continuing this trend from Survivor yesterday.
Well, the show was certainly interesting, but we wanted to get more specific because, that's just the constant icebreaker that you do in so many situations, like at college and school, new workplaces. It's always, what do you bring to a tropical island for if you had to survive for a month? What one item are you bringing, Devin?
I'll bring a knife.
A knife. Okay, well, that's not a bad choice. I think it can generally be described as a pretty decent choice. What's your thought process behind that?
Yeah, well, it's kind of an interesting thought process, too, because it'll allow you to kind of cut some stuff up, whether you're building a shelter and maybe you get some... and this is going to sound pretty bad because obviously you need food, whether it's maybe some vegetable food, maybe, and you're thinking of islands, so maybe a coconut, you cut up a coconut to maybe get some fluids from there, or fruit, or maybe it's sounding a little more gruesome, animal kills, so you can try to cut up some food, cook it with that over a fire. And again, you're talking about a deserted island, so you're working off of nature there. So, so again, keyword is survivor. So you're surviving off the land right there. So my first answer was actually a gun, because I'm thinking off a gun deer season. So you're thinking about trying to kill something and trying to survive off the land, but you were counting as gun and bullets as two things.
Exactly. You get one item. You're going to the grocery store or the Walmart or the gun store. You got to buy them separately. They're coming in different packages. You get one item.
You're not being fair. That's why...
I'm just being real specific here.
That's why when Jeff asked me a question and I looked at him like he had two heads, now you see why I always get confused a lot.
Well, either way, Devin, I think a knife is a fine choice. I would go with like a flint stick as well. Just because it's easier. I don't know if you know what those are. I've used them several times. You just kind of, there's two different styles of ones. One's got like a stick and you kind of peel off the exterior.
Okay.
And then you just scrape it and then it releases the sparks. Or there's the handheld ones where you can kind of squeeze it and there's like a wire inside against the flint and then it creates this showers of sparks that way.
Some way to...
I would take either. I wouldn't be choosy in this situation.
Some way to get a fire started.
Exactly. I think fire will be the most important thing for me because I don't want to get cold, or if I get wet, I need to dry the stuff. Or also, I like my meat cooked. I don't want to be having anything uncooked really. I mean, you find some berries and vegetables, that's good, but if I'm catching fish or something, I'd rather like it warm, and I don't trust myself to be able to start a fire with just a couple rocks.
So if you and I were set together, it sounds like we'd be in a good spot.
If we both brought those items, we'd be okay. That'd be a decent start. Now, Carol in the back, she suggested that she's going to bring an iPod, and she wants her music.
Electronics? I didn't think that was allowed.
I didn't say it wasn't, but I think ours were probably good survival tools. I think Carol is going to have a good time listening to some tunes. So it's, I'm sure she's probably shaking her head right now at me for sharing that information. But either way, it's certainly a fun island we're going to have ourselves on. But we have more to talk about, Devin, this morning. Coming up, you can find out how gold medalists are adapting to being back in the classrooms at UW-Madison.
But first, we have Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe for fresh apple turnovers.
Ooh.